the Rock Metal Podcast, episode 171 with The Less Fortunate. Rock Metal Nation, what is up? This is John from the Rock Metal Podcast. That sample you just heard was Alive by The Less Fortunate, who I've got on the show with me right now. They've actually got a new single out called Alive, which you just heard, and released via Traumasphere Records. Right now I'm being joined by Blanca, Bill, and Logan to share some stories about the music and share more info about the band. So guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Groovy. Good to have you guys on. Let's go listen back to that latest single, Alive. Definitely a banging track. Now I'm curious, what's the story or inspiration behind Alive?
The inspiration behind Alive.
I think it was the first song we wrote as when we brought Dalton into the band. I'm pretty sure and everything. He kind of brought that to the table, and then I don't know what Ian and Corey's lyrics came from necessarily, but I know the music was kind of cool because it was our first thing that we really collabed on.
Yeah, we pretty much finished it after I had become a part of the band, which was shortly after Dalton, our guitarist. And, pretty much I think the inspiration for that is just, coming from building yourself up from, being at your lowest point. So, and you pretty much feel good about yourself and accomplishing the things that you've done and, pretty much just bringing yourself to a better position in life. And, escaping sort of the old ways that always held you down.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. So that brings up a couple of really unique questions. So obviously, number one, uplifting metal, which I always appreciate. There's so much you can do with music, especially when you've given the gift of somebody's ears, and so many bands just want to destroy that by singing about absolute garbage. So that's good to hear that you guys have got some uplifting metal. And then the next thing is, so it sounds like there were some new members that came into the band is with regard to writing the track. What was it like writing Alive in comparison to the previous stuff, given the new members?
Well, I know personally, we kind of started out Logan and myself and another guitarist kind of started jamming together. And it was, like I said, this is when Dalton came into the band. This is kind of the first thing that he brought to the table. And it was kind of like the eureka moment, I feel like, because it was it showed how great of a fit he was going to be and how things were going to be from now on and how songwriting was going to be and how much easier it was going to flow and how much easier it was going to be. I feel like before we just didn't have that. I feel like Logan and I have always kind of gotten along as far as musically, and everything. Like I've always kind of picked up where he's coming from and whatnot. But when Dalton came into the band, it became immensely easier to write music, and it was something that we immediately gravitated to. And so it was kind of the turning point from that point on. Everything, he writes quite a bit of it and comes up with a lot of good ideas as far as getting the initial spark of the idea of how something starts to go.
Yeah, and I would say that was one of our first songs we wrote when we kind of were first getting started, and we're a 6-piece band. So I think kind of part of what goes with that is that we're kind of writing music and trying to get going as we're adding members in. So it kind of helped us change our styles and get flowing into what we currently are, which I think this track would be a good example of what that is.
Cool. I'm curious, what made Alive the single?
That's a good question.
I think it's the one that we all really like this song, and I think it meant a lot to everybody in the band.
Yeah, because it's nice to have something to push out there that I think can show a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's got a good balance to it. It evens itself out with Corey's vocals and my clean vocals in there. So it gives a little bit half and half for those people that have different tastes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, let's go and listen to the next track, Oculus. Nation, it's John from the Rock Metal Podcast for a real quick break to let you know that Jay over at Metal Mayhem Radio is looking to help you get your band in rotation on his station. So go ahead and hit up Jay at studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. That is studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. Just go ahead and say that the Rock Metal Podcast sent you. He'll get you into rotation on Metal Mayhem Radio. All right, come back from Oculus. Now, to my understanding, this is previous work, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we recorded this one before, Alive.
Now, I'm curious, what's the story or inspiration behind Oculus?
That one was definitely a much heavier song for us. We kind of with the two vocal things we got going, we kind of have a heavier side and kind of a lighter side. This is a track I think we focused on, as far as musically goes, being a bit heavier and kind of obtaining that side of the fans. As far as lyrically goes,
Oculus. Actually, you know this because it's mainly Corey.
Well, I know Corey. One day when we were jamming. Long story short, I was going through Facebook, and it's one of those graphic videos where you have to uncover it in order to see it. And without getting into too many details, it was a really graphic video of some gun violence and blah 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 blah. And I just remember Corey kind of going, man, I just can't believe how effed up this is. And we had a really good discussion about it. And then I don't remember if it was that day or the day after, whenever, but he came up Oculus, meaning your eyes and the stuff that he sees. And I know that's where he came up with the name. I don't really know all the lyrics by heart necessarily. I hate to say that, but I know that definitely had some aspect of at least the name and probably his direction of what he was originally thinking.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, between the two tracks, was the writing very similar? Like, was it music and then lyrics, or like how did but writing both of the tracks work out, or were they different? Maybe just tell us about that.
I think writing them, we kind of have a writing system where we just kind of get together and we kind of just start going on some grooves, and then from there we kind of just take it and run with it. And I think that's kind of how we wrote both of these songs until we did go in, and work with the producer on Alive. That helped kind of shape that one out a little bit differently. I'd say that was one major difference in the writing process as far as, how the ending tracks came out. Oculus was definitely one of that we just kind of, we put that one together ourselves without any producer or anything like that on that one. So.
In that song, the way it came together, you and Dalton pretty much just had that riff, right? And we just kind of worked off of it, the initial dun dun dun. I think they kind of just had that, and then it just escalated from there.
But it's definitely music. Definitely usually comes first. I'd say, most of the time when we write, and then the lyrics usually come over top of that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Now, what exciting news do you guys have coming up for Rock Metal Nation to pay attention to?
Well, this year's going to be a pretty big year for us.
Yeah, we're actually working on coming out with the album. We're slowly, we have plenty of songs that we can record. We're just, trying to find the studio time to do it, So we definitely have an album that's ready to come out. Not really ready to come out, but we definitely have an idea for an album. And so we're working on it to come out, within the next year.
Yeah, I think we plan on recording later this year, having an album come out early next year.
And so you also mentioned Facebook, Instagram, and iTunes and Spotify. So my next logical question is there a particular website that you want Rock Metal Nation to go to keep in touch?
So we do have our own website. It's thelessfortunate.net. Pretty much our Facebook, I'd say, is our main source of keeping everything updated. I know definitely usually Facebook's the first thing we turn to. Reverb Nation is where we got all of our previous tracks we recorded. You can find our first original one. We have another track called We Will Rise that's up on Reverb Nation along with Oculus. And then Alive you can get on iTunes and find on Spotify. So those are the main sources on stuff online that I would go to.
And on our website, we're trying to get to the point where we can do merch and everything
That's
too,
right?
Yeah. So you can always go on there and check out our gear and all that good stuff as well.
Groovy. All right. Well, guys, unless there's anything else you wanted to throw out there, just wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day to come on to the Rock Metal Podcast and sharing the less fortunate with Rock Metal Nation.
Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the track. We really appreciate you having us on. Shout out to our record label, Traumasphere, for putting this all together for us. And thank you for everybody who, supports us.
All right, Rock Metal Nation. Hopefully just found your new favorite band in The Less Fortunate. Big thanks again to them for coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.therockmetalpodcast.ca to get all the information on the show you just heard today. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.
That's me.
That is you.
I just saying that is good, Buck.